How can you be so hung up on the idea of regrets if you either gave it your 100% or you actually learned something? I've always been so confused of the concept of having regrets if you gave it 100% effort, if it was like a sporting event or, you're trying something new or work or school, whatever, or you learn something, right? I can walk away from an exam that I took, be regretful that I didn't study for the exam, or I can look back and say, next time I'll study for the exam. Now I learned that I should have studied. People live with regrets and get swallowed by them, get enveloped by this cloud of regret, that it blinds them to what they actually learned from having that regret. So I want to talk about my experience with regret and how being regretful is only holding you back. It's important to explain that, to preface this with saying that there is no such thing as the past. There is no such thing as the future. What is now, right? By the time you're watching this, it's the past for me. And I can only look back on this video that I made and say, I could have done this better and that better. So I'll do it better next time I do it. Next time I do it in the present. If you look back on every experience that you have at a time that doesn't exist anymore, literally the past does not exist, and you look back and say, oh, I wish I did this better or that better, you're only holding yourself back. All you can do is say, I will do this better. I will do that better. But so many people get so hung up in this idea of regret and letting it weigh on them like an anchor tied to their ankle. And they don't progress forward in life. They don't understand what it takes to just move forward and just continue. That's what life is, man. Life is just a string of events moving forward. And I think that plays into the idea of grief, right? Everybody talks about regrets when it comes to family members, and that's a lot more understandable. And I understand that. But that too is something that, you really need to reflect on with eyes that are looking forward. Because if you say, I wish I would have done this with the person I lost, there's nothing you can do about that now. You need to understand that what you learned is a lesson for the future. And the future is all you have, right? What you can do after. And that doesn't even yet exist either. You have to focus on what's happening in front of you right now. What can you change? What can you learn from what happened to you? I don't believe in regrets personally, but I guess for an example for this video, a couple of things that I guess could be viewed as regrets in the eyes of others might be the fact that I started YouTube so late, right? I'm 23 now. I could have started, I had the knowledge that I had in terms of YouTube when I started 66 days ago or something. I had that knowledge, years ago, right? I made my account in 2014. I was 11 years old. I had the knowledge that I did when I started YouTube years ago. I could have started a long time ago. I had this camera for a long ass time. I've had a laptop among other things, the software is needed to edit videos and all that. But I didn't start until 2 months ago as a 23-year-old. And I could have looked back at this time and said, you know what, I regret not starting. Or I could say, I can take the knowledge that I have and start, which is what I did. And now it's been the most fun experience of my life. I wouldn't say that I'm, mega famous or anything on YouTube or mega successful, but I'm successful in my own right, to my own standards. I took a leap and I did something that may be uncomfortable, and it's been fun as fuck, and I love it, and I'm going to continue to do it. And now I have zero regrets about it, and I took what many might thought would be a regret, and I turned it into a lesson moving forward. Again, with moving your own, right? I talk to my brother a lot about how, he lived here and he had the opportunity to live here for 2 years because he did school out here. And in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking like, man, I kind of wish I did something like that. Lived abroad for a couple of years and learned a language and did all the things, but I didn't. I stayed in school in, America, which was uncomfortable at first, yes, but I definitely adapted to it very quickly because it's still America. And it's still, my home country, but I could have said, oh, well, I wish I did it, but I didn't do it. Or I could do it now, which is what I'm doing here. I've been in Rome for 2 months now, and it's been another very awesome experience that I turned into a lesson versus a regret. Like I said, life is a sequence of events moving forward. You can never go back to the events that happened in the past. You can't change what happened. Old friendships, old situations, old relationships. You can't go back and change what happened. You can only be a good person moving forward, learn from those things, understand what they taught you, and leverage that and use that to your advantage. That's why people with so much life experience always seem to be the most brilliant people, because they understand how to leverage their past experiences as knowledge for their future experiences. And they understand that not getting hung up on those past experiences is what allows them to benefit from their future experiences. That's why these people always have such playful mentalities on the day-to-day, because they're not worried about what happened in the past. They know that it's all going to work out because they're alive. They're here in this moment. They had that experience, good or bad, and they made it through. And now they're here. Now they're using the knowledge from those past experiences for their future experiences. And after those bad experiences they may have had, they realized maybe it wasn't so bad. So they're entering all their future experiences with a playful mindset. And that's what I try to do on a day-to-day basis. I try to be playful and joyous on my day-to-day so I can enjoy life, because life is meant to be enjoyed, in my opinion. So if you're somebody that's having a hard time enjoying life, take a step back, let go of what's bothering you from the past, and use it in a positive light in your future experiences. This, I think, is the best way to enjoy life, because you're taking advantage of past experiences, you're learning something from them, and you're applying it to your future in a positive way. So thank you for watching.